Are today's rock bands, such as The Warning and Bandmade, the last really great rock bands of our generation? Will AI generated music just create this massive wave of monotone, homogenized crap that will be so boring to listen to that our souls will literally just be empty? That's what we're talking about today, among some other things. So let's talk about AI. Okay, right now we have a lot of really great rock bands coming into the scene, but I'm starting to wonder: are these the last ones? We do a lot of Bandmade and The Warning reactions here on this channel, as many other rock bands that we like. Make sure you subscribe for those. But are they the last ones? Are the upcoming artists just going to rely on AI so much that their music is all going to sound the same? We could get that accusation for hip hop along. It's like, oh, they're all just using technology or beats or tracks or samples. It all sounds the same. The auto tone, it all sounds the same. And so, is future rock music all going to sound the same because of AI? Are they just going to be using AI to make everything? And so, there's a lot of different areas in this. And so, I want to give this topic, a lot of its due. AI isn't bad in and of itself. No technology is inherently evil. How we use it can be good or bad. And so the way I think about emerging technology is that it's never going to stop. Technology is a one-way street. We're always going to innovate. That's what we do. We just can't help ourselves. We just can't help but make new stuff. And that's kind of what we've always done. And so the idea that it's going to be easy for the future generation, yes, it will be. Just like it's easier now than it was for the previous generation. And I always think to myself, the boomers, the old people, you say, oh, you young people, you have it so easy. I'm like, wait, isn't that what you wanted? Like, why did you work so hard? Like, they worked so hard to make the world that we have, and now we have it easy because of what they built. It's like, yeah, mission accomplished. You did great. Of course, there's still problems with today's world, but if we play our cards right, our children's children will have it even easier than we do if we play our cards right. And so AI is going to lower the barrier of entry. And yes, it's going to make it even easier for any old fool with no talent to just pump out music. So you got these talentless people just pumping out a bunch of music using AI, and is it just going to drown out real artists such as Bandmade and The Warning? Are we going to lose out on all of this great music that the future has to offer because it's just a bunch of AI nonsense? And so we've been down this road before, though. And so everything innovates with time. And so, yes, there will be a wave of AI generated nonsense, but that doesn't mean talented people will just disappear. And talented people will have a choice to make. Do they use this technology to help get their talent out faster and use it to craft something really, really wonderful? Or do they cling to the old ways and be left behind by the people with no talent who are just pumping out lots of music with AI? And so, as someone who personally identifies as an artist, I am all for using AI. And let me explain. Because simply, the way I look at history and the way I look at the world is that technology doesn't go away. When they invented computers, over 90% of all accountants lost their job, because the way accounting firms used to work is they would write everything down on a sheet of paper and put it in a file and put it in a drawer. And then we invented computers. 90% of the workforce was gone and they had to get new jobs. And this is the same pattern we see over and over throughout history. They invent plows for fields. We don't need as many people on the farms anymore. They all got to go and get new jobs in the cities. And they did get new jobs. And that's the interesting thing. New technology always takes away a certain amount of the jobs. But it also creates new jobs, because we created computers, a bunch of people lost their jobs, but now IT and security and cyber technology is one of the biggest employment fields in the world. So yes, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people had to move into different areas of the workforce and have different likes. But the upside is that there's a whole new area where people can work in and so I think that's going to be, AI will create jobs and it will take away jobs. And so I think, if you really want to be a talented musician, you're going to have to start. Well, you can be a talented musician, but not get your music out there as fast. And that's where you kind of have to have a balance of the business mind and the art. Essentially, the way I think about it is AI turns a musician into a composer slash producer, because AI will allow you to hold all of these different instruments in the palm of your hand and create something 10 times faster than you would have right now. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I know there will be a new wave of artists that are making AI music. A lot of it will be garbage. The talented ones will make really good music with AI, and that stuff will rise above the rest. And then we're going to have that discussion. Do we boycott new rock bands that use AI to make their songs faster? Because with AI, a talented band like The Warning, they put out one album a year. But let's just say, hypothetically, they choose to use AI to generate catchy riffs faster. And then they pick the ones that they like the most, and basically they can 10x the speed at which they generate their music. Maybe they put out 3 albums a year at the same quality, because they're still filtering the end result. They're still deciding which part of the AI generated, music that they're using. And so as long as talented people are still filtering through and deciding what goes out and what doesn't, AI can actually be a huge benefit for the artist in terms of the speed at which you can generate the art that you want to make. The AI will generate what you want, and then you could just say, hey, I don't like this, but I want to keep that. And then, so for example, if I can ask AI to create a catchy hook for me. It'll give me like 100, and I'll sort through them and pick the one I like and build a song around that. You can make things a lot faster. And so it is going to, it's yes, and it's both. There's going to be a lot of issues with AI. A lot of producers are going to lose their jobs. A lot of the old artists that have been around for 10, maybe 30 years are not going to like the fact that these kids can just use AI to make a hit song and boom, it blows up. But we've already seen that pattern, right? We've already seen this before. When computers came into music, a lot of the old, metalheads and the purists were like, hey, anybody can use a computer to make music that's not real music. And now basically every single big touring band has backing tracks with their computers, has earbuds in with a metronome, and they can hear everything just right. And so it always catches up. The innovation always catches up and eventually gets adopted. And so, really we as the listeners have to decide, what are we going to support? And so I definitely agree that there's going to be a lot of monotone, boring crap just being pushed out because it'll be so easy to make. But I like to think that the listeners are intelligent enough to go, you know what? I'm going to look for something a little bit more. To quote a Slipknot song called All Out Life, I will not subject myself to worthless noises. I think that we as the viewers and the listeners, we can be more open-minded and pick, what we want to listen to and what is good. And so, those are my thoughts on, in terms of what we'll have to do in terms of AI music developing. But please understand, AI is not going anywhere. It will not stop. Okay, the government is not going to ban it, because I don't think they'll ban it, because it gives us so much of an industrial advantage that other countries will just surpass us, because they'll keep AI and then we'll fall behind technologically, economically, and industrially. Government doesn't want that to happen, so I doubt they'll ban it, because not using AI will put us at a technical disadvantage to other countries. And so I doubt we're going to ban it. We might, but I doubt it. And lots of people are going to lose their jobs. Artists are going to have to pivot. Like, I am already, as someone who's just starting to become an artist, I've already decided I want to be relevant in the future marketplace. 20 years from now, I need to add AI to my arsenal of tools that I can use to create what I want to create faster and just as good. if I can do the work of 10 people, like that's good for me because that makes me better deal for the marketplace and for future employers. And so AI is not going to replace you necessarily, but you're going to get replaced by another human being who can use AI to do your job 10 times as fast. And so really you have a choice to make. Do you hold on to the old ways, or do you look and see where the future is going, the likelihood that technology never goes back? Please, guys, understand this. Technology doesn't go backwards. When we invented toilets, we didn't go back to outhouses. When we invented cars, we didn't go back to horses. When we invented metal ships, we did not go back to wooden ships. When we invented planes and trains, we didn't go back to what we had before, which was horses and buggies. When we invented the internet, unless aside from full-scale apocalypse, we're not going back. When we invented social media, we're not going back. And it's the same with the blockchain, cryptocurrency. We made it, we're not going back. It's only going forward. It's going to be a big part of our lives, whether we want it to or not. And the same goes for AI. We invented AI, we're not going back. And so knowing that that's the pattern of history, it is most likely that AI will be a major part of our everyday lives in the foreseeable future. And so if you want to secure your future and make your skill set relevant in the marketplace, learn how to incorporate AI into everything that you do and use it to your advantage. That is my thoughts on being, an artist and using AI. And so with that done, let's